Alright everyone, this video surprised the hell out of me. This week we're talking about the Olight Osight. Stick around and find out what I think. Hey everybody, Randy Reviews It here. So you may be asking yourself, Randy, why did it take you so long to put out your Olight Osight video? There's a two-part answer there. One, part of it I was on vacation, but I was also filming during that time. So I'm finally back home, back at my computer. Apparently everyone in my neighborhood is driving around right now. But the second part of that is I've been testing this a lot. I wanted to make sure that my testing and what I saw other people doing and their outcomes, am I getting the same results as them? Am I experiencing the same thing as them? So far the answer has been no. My experience with it has been different, and we'll get into that later, but first we're going to talk about 1, what this site is, 2, the pros, 3, we'll get into cons. Then we'll talk about the testing, and then we'll follow up with a conclusion. So what is this? This is Olight's first kind of jaunt into red dot sights for pistols. It's a 3 MOA dot. You can get it in red or green. They were running a promotion for it being $159 for the first month. I think that's over now. It's $199 without that promotion. Olight provided this, so let's get that clear. Olight provided this, but it would take a lot more than this light or this red dot to buy me off. Like, you'd have to see me with Floyd Mayweather money to be shilling product like this. So it's a red dot. Its main kind of differentiating feature is that it's rechargeable. It has this little battery thing that pops on top and recharges the actual red dot itself, and this can be plugged into a USB-C. So let's get into the pros, and we'll talk about this as well. The pros of this sight: it's very clear glass. I actually was really impressed when I first got this. It's got a big window, it's got clear glass, it's got a 3 MOA dot that looked pretty good to me, even with astigmatism. The other thing is I tested it with light and dark. The auto sensor on this is way better than even my Holosun. What is it, like the 507C? Yeah, 507C, the CU or whatever it is. So the auto features on this are a lot better. Like how quick it adjusts and what it adjusts to is actually really good on this. It's got a little kind of thing in the front that looks and helps it adjust, that sort of thing. To see the charger on top, that's what it looks like. And we'll have plenty of clips running showing this stuff as well, because I recorded a bunch of video with this. So the pros: it's an RMR footprint, it's got good adjustments, it's rechargeable, which we're going to talk cons with that as well. But overall, first impressions, if this didn't say Olight on it, I think a lot more people would be surprised with how good this looks with things. So let's talk about cons. The only real con for me is kind of this recharger. It's a double-edged sword. So think about this. You're going to a competition match, or you go to a match and your battery dies on your red dot. A lot of times with other sites, you can just have those little batteries and a screwdriver and you can switch that out. With this, not so much. You have to have this giant block somewhere around so that you can recharge it. And it's going to take time to recharge. It's not instant. So while this may seem like a feature, it's also a curse. In typical Olight fashion, they offered a recharging thing that no one, I don't think, was asking for or wanted because of that. It looks like there's enough room that they could have fit a battery tray in there, but I'm no engineer, so I couldn't decide that either. But the pros of this, though, are when you throw it on, it tells you exactly how much battery is left on your red dot. So some of my Holosons, I could be like leaving the house and it could be at 5%, and I would never know. With this, I know exactly where it's at, provided I have this around. And if you're like me, I lose charging cables and stuff all the time. This block is pretty inconspicuous, so you got to keep it in a good spot to store it, or if you lose this, you're kind of screwed eventually when this goes dead. So I think the recharging factor is more of a con than a pro, because I've only had to change out batteries a few times. I've always had extra batteries and screwdrivers, and I think most people that shoot pistol dots are in that same boat. So for me, the only con is this recharger, right? So let's talk about what other people experienced, and we'll get into what I did for testing. So I watched Despop, and he was tapping on this with a loaded mag, just tapping on it, and then he shot it, and he said that the zero had shifted. So here's my test of that, and you can see me tapping on this mag, tapping this mag on the Olight, all that. Went through the same thing. I did not have any zero shift. I did the mag tapping, I think, on 4 or 5 separate occasions. I did not have zero shift. So that one threw me for a loop, because I'm not saying Despop is not being honest. I think he's being 100% honest. I think a lot of the people who have had issues with the Olight are being 100% honest. I'm saying that I haven't had the issues that everyone else has. Next, let's get into drop test. So I think his name's like Overton Windex or something like that. He did a drop test. He put out an Olight video. He said he dropped it from a bench or a table and it broke within 3 times. So here is my drop test. All right, everyone. I'm curious for myself. I watched the Overton Windex video and I saw people doing drop tests on the Olight Osight. So right here we have my bench, and I'm gonna drop it 3 times onto that concrete floor, and let's see if we get the same results that Overton Windex or some of the others have, where this is actually broken. So test 1. We got a dent in the corner, no visual damage on any of the glass. Test 2. We have another ding on this side now. No damage to the glass. Let's see if I can get this in there. Drop 3. Looks like it hit on the same spot on the housing somewhere, but As you can see, the dot's still going. There is no issues with the glass. So maybe I just got the one that works, because I haven't had any issues with zero shift. It just passed a drop test that they said failed on their end. So let's get back to the video. So as you can see in that video, I did not experience any breakage. There's a couple of dings and dents on the corners, but for my drop test, this thing held up. I've used it, I've racked it on the concrete at the shooting range. I've, hit it with mags. I've bashed it around. I have not treated it well on purpose. I haven't done ridiculous abuse to it because I've seen SROs break under that stuff. And for $190 Olight to be able to hold up the way that I've had it held up, I'm impressed by it, to be honest. So let's talk conclusion here. I know some of you are going to say I'm a shill. I'm not. I assure you I'm not. I received no money. I'm receiving no compensation. I bought all the ammo that I shot through this with my own money. They just sent this sight, and they sent it pretty much like the day before their media embargo was up. So I didn't even get it that early or anything like that. But I've been testing this now for, I want to say, about a month and a half. And it's held up. I actually enjoy using it. It's got a big window. It's almost like a Holosun 507 comp window on this thing. It's an RMR footprint. I had the Shadow Systems mount, and maybe that's the bread and butter on why this didn't shift and why it was okay, is because Shadow Systems has some of the best optic mounting out there, hands down. And it's locked in there pretty tight with a bumper and everything like that. So it's very secured. So on the Shadow Systems, I've had nothing but good things on this Olight. I think the recharger is stupid, and I would like to see them offer a battery version. But overall, it's a decent red dot sight. Like, it's got a good window. Some of these cheaper Chinese red dots have impressed a lot of people, like the Sileys and Gideons and stuff like that. Like, I even saw Mike Pannone testing a Siley. He's got that same Bullseye Pro that I do. That's this giant thing. And I think he's testing some of their others. So these things are getting out there, and they're doing better than a lot of people expected. When it comes to Olight, maybe it's a QC issue, why I got a good one and why other people have had failings. Like maybe I got the one that was inspected by the person who had an extra cigarette that day or something. Who knows? But overall, I don't think, with their warranty and with everything else, I don't think, and how much it costs, I don't think it would be an issue if you guys bought an Olight Osight. Like, I wouldn't tease someone for having this. It's done better than I thought. I like it better than I thought I would. And overall, I'm going to keep it on guns that I shoot regularly. Like, it's a good dot to use. That's all. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I beat it up the way that I thought it should. Did some extra testing on this. Put a decent amount of rounds through it. The Olight Osight has held up. Take care.